We're back here at 9:25. You know, kids are counting down the days until the end of the school year. And, well, after that final bell comes the summer of freedom, right? And a whole lot of opportunity, too.
The opportunity to earn money, perhaps, and plenty of chances to spend that money as well.
Certified financial educator Christa Mathews works specifically with younger millennials and Gen Zers and their parents to try to get good financial footings in place. And she has some advice on how kids and teens can save money wisely this summer. Christa, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. All right, let's talk about kids. You say
Yes.
it doesn't really matter their age. Kids in the summertime can find work.
That's right, yes.
Tell me about that.
I mean, for example, if kids are under, maybe the age of 14, they can go out in their neighborhood, start finding jobs like that in your neighbor's house. If they go out of town, you can house sit, pet sit, whatever it is. Teaches them a large amount of accountability and responsibility, right? You have a key, you have to get the mail, right? Doing things like that really, really benefits their knowledge.
And I think when you're starting something like that in the neighborhood, there's a little bit more forgiveness too.
Yeah.
I know I remember hiring a neighbor kid to feed our fish or something one year, and we came home and the door was wide open and blah 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 blah.
Oh no.
It was a neighbor kid, right? So it was like, I think that's a really nice thing about finding work.
That's right, yes.
Close by.
And if they can't drive under 14s, they can just walk down the street. You don't have to drop them off, pick them up.
What do you think as far as kids saving? We kind of tease this, right? So you think that kids need to spend. We give our kids allowance in our house and we talk about saving, but we also talk about giving.
Of course.
To different organizations. So how do you teach kids the importance of all three buckets?
Exactly, yes. I think all three are important, absolutely, to teach and have in their repertoire. So, for example, saving, that gives you an immense amount of peace of mind, right?
Yeah.
But giving back, too. Many people feel very passionate about their church or school or community that gave to them, that helped shape their lives. And they want to help the next generation as well, right? So it's really, really important to teach them. But being so young, it's okay to spend. You just learned a valuable lesson of exchanging time for money, right?
Yeah.
Hard work for an income. So reap the rewards of that. Go out and buy something with it.
Do you think that it's different if the money comes from mom and dad for a chore versus a neighbor for a chore?
There is a different responsibility there, right? I mean, neighbors might just hand you cash or Venmo you or whatever it is. But, if you're, closer to 17, 18, getting a real paycheck, that's important. It goes into your bank. Taxes come out of it, right? There's more lessons learned there as well.
I like the idea of setting a goal for it. I know, I remember as a kid, I saved up all summer to buy a Discman.
Yeah.
You remember those? It cost like $900, which is ridiculous.
Right.
But to set a goal and it kind of gives them something to work towards.
Definitely. So something tangible like that, if they want to buy the newest phone or maybe a computer with a touch screen, something like that. Or something that really benefits their knowledge, gets their wheels turning. Maybe this is the summer to talk to your child about what they want to do when they grow up. What do you want to major in college if you have a 16, 17, 18-year-old, right? And right now, subscriptions are all the craze, right? Getting a membership for online or something like that, that will really help them with benefiting what they're going to do with their future.
Do you think when we're teaching kids about spending some of this money that they've earned, it's all about like the fun spending, or do you think that there are different categories of spending too?
As children, they don't really have expenses, right?
Right. I mean, parents take care of everything.
Exactly, right. But, some of that responsibility is really, really fantastic to know early on. So it's never too early to start learning about the value of a dollar.
And part of that is prioritizing things, right?
Yes.
I really like this idea, like, this is a necessity.
Yes.
This is something that's fun.
Right.
Save some money.
Right. I mean, they'll learn that. So something fun, going to concerts with your friends, maybe taking a trip or going on a family vacation, right? Those are all a little bit different, but it really, really helps them learn, oh, I just worked a certain amount of hours, I got a paycheck, and I got to go do XYZ, right? I got to do.
Yeah, are there any apps that you like these days? Because I feel like we're being flooded. There are so many out there, and as a parent, you just don't know which ones are safe.
There are.
Which are the best for your kids?
Yes, I have two that I've narrowed down. The first one is Mint.com. There's an online version, there's an app, right, for kids. That's a very basic way. It's kind of a financial GPS. Tells you where you are and where you want to be. There's another more advanced app called YNAB, Y-N-A-B. You need a budget. And it's a little bit more intricate.
Adults use this too?
Yes, Yes, absolutely. It's for if you have more moving pieces in your life, kids,
Sure.
a mortgage, things like that. So both of them are a fantastic resource.
I like the notion, and I don't like the notion. Anytime a financial expert comes on this show, I just get mortified and I feel terrible about myself. Terrible parent, terrible money saver.
my
I like the idea that you talk to them about actually like having money for an emergency fund.
Absolutely.
It seems kind of ludicrous at first because they're kids, they shouldn't have to worry about it.
I know.
But start thinking about that.
Right. It
'Cause
absolutely.
we all need to have that, even though
Yes.
none of us do.
Exactly. And your emergency fund is separate from your savings, right? So for example, I live in Atlanta. If you've ever experienced Atlanta traffic, how much construction there is, and there's always roadblocks. I got a nail in my tire the other day. And unfortunately, long story short, we couldn't patch it. So I out of pocket had to pay for a new tire. But I had that emergency
Yeah,
fund bucket to
yeah.
pull from, not my bucket of expenses and rent and mortgage and all those things, right? So I was fine. I didn't have to bother those daily
I
expenses.
bet they talked you into having to buy all 4 new tires.
Or
They
two,
sure
at
did.
least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did.
The tread will be off on that
Yeah.
one if we just...
They
Awesome.
tried.
Well, Christa, thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Speaking of money, we are giving away $250, and we're going to do it again tomorrow, too. Find out how you can be a lucky winner.